Yeah, it's been good. Just working. I'm going to Kentucky again this month. For work, yeah, for work. Do some training out there while I'm out there. Come back. Yeah, it's been good. I'm loving my new job. Hey, did you go to Hawaii or no? Or you decided not
All right, good morning, everyone. This morning, I received a text from my dad. It said 3 words, have at it. And these are the 3 words that he would tell me before every soccer game since I was in elementary school up until my last college game. And when he said that to me, I knew it meant to leave it all out on the field, to play as hard as I can play, to win the game, and to do all I can. And, the last time I thought he was going to say that to me was at my last college soccer game. And to get that text today and to recognize now I need to have at it and make sure other girls can have the same opportunities that I had. And honestly, it makes me emotional to think about my dad texting me that again, and to think about what the fight is now. And it does feel like a game day today. It feels like a game day here at CIF, and to tell them what's right and to give girls opportunities. But with that, I am Sophia Lorey. I'm the Outreach Director at California Family Council. I'm a former collegiate athlete, a 4-year CIF varsity athlete, and 3 of those years I was a team captain. And I want to thank you all for being here today. And thank you to the courageous men and women standing with me, mothers, fathers, coaches, athletes, advocates from across California. And I want to thank the Save Girls Sports California Coalition, a united front of over 20 plus organizations from diverse backgrounds, political beliefs, and religious views, all coming together for one common cause: to save girls' sports. We are here today because the California Interscholastic Federation, CIF, is failing female athletes. CIF has chosen to defy a federal executive order. And despite Wednesday's executive order, which reaffirms protections for female athletes under Title IX, CIF has not only refused to comply, but has doubled down on policies that prioritize radical gender ideology over the fairness, safety, and opportunities of young female athletes across the state. Instead of ensuring fair and safe competition, CIF continues to allow males to compete in girls' sports, stealing scholarship opportunities, titles, and records from the very athletes Title IX was created to protect. Today's press conference is not about exclusion. This is about fairness. This is about acknowledging scientific biological reality. Males have significant physiological advantage over females: strength, speed, lung capacity, muscle density, bone structure. These differences matter. They matter when a female sprinter loses a state championship. They matter when a high school girl gets injured against a male. They matter when a young girl loses an opportunity at a scholarship she trained her entire life for. This is about more than fairness. This is also about safety. Female athletes deserve to compete without the fear of injury due to males. This is about opportunity. CIF policies are forcing girls to compete against males, costing them spots on teams, podiums, and a potential college roster spot. And this is about privacy. CIF Gender Diversity Toolkit encourages males to use female locker rooms, restrooms, disregarding the comfort and safety of young girls. And this is about justice. 52 years ago, Title IX was passed to ensure equal athletic opportunities for women. But today, CIF is undermining that progress by openly defying a federal executive order that reaffirms those protections. And enough is enough. We are here to tell CIF we will not stand by while girls lose their spots. Let me be absolutely clear. Educational institutions that fail to uphold the executive order will be investigated and lose federal funding. The federal government has made it clear that the Department of Justice shall provide all necessary resources in accordance with law to relevant agencies to ensure expeditious enforcement of the policy established in this order. With the full weight of the Department of Justice behind this executive order, CIF and California schools are on notice. CIF's reckless disregard for Title IX does not just hurt girls, it will cost California millions in federal education funding. And so, CIF does not have the luxury of ignoring Title IX. It is legally obligated to enforce compliance. Under California Education Code 33353, CIF, as the governing body for interscholastic athletics, must ensure compliance with all federal state discrimination laws. By allowing males to take scholarships, championships, and roster spots from girls, CIF is violating the very laws it's bound to enforce. And one day, the CIF board will look back and realize they chose to be on the wrong side of history. They will have to answer for why they sacrificed the safety, fairness, and dignity of young girls to bow to an ideological agenda. But we will not stand by. We are here to fight for the girls who have been forced to compete against males. We're here to fight for the girls who have trained tirelessly only to see their opportunities taken away by males. And we are here to fight for the next generation of female athletes. So, our demands to CIF are simple. Follow Title IX. Recognize that fairness and biology matter, and stop sacrificing girls' safety and opportunities all for the feelings of boys. Over 20 states have already taken action to protect female athletes. Our president just signed an executive order to protect us, and California must do the same. In just an hour, we will enter the CIF Federated Council meeting to provide public comment, urging them once again to protect girls' sports. We encourage every single person here to join us, speak out, and demand change. CIF has a choice. Do what is right and stand with female athletes, or be remembered as the committee that destroyed female sports in California. We will not back down. We will not be silenced. Girls' sports matter, girls' safety matters, and girls matter.
Thank you, Sophia. My name is Julianne Fleischer, and I'm an attorney with Advocates for Faith and Freedom. And I just want to share briefly that the President Trump and his administration has taken huge steps in protecting girls' sports. But this isn't a new concept. Back in the 1970s, Congress recognized the need to protect our female athletes. And over the years, different administrations have completely thwarted what Congress intended, which was to protect our girls and to ensure fair treatment for our female athletes. And so what President Trump and his administration is doing is they are restoring the protections of Title IX, ensuring that our female athletes have a right to be champions in their own sports without the threat of competing against biological males who have biological differences and different strengths. And so we commend President Trump and his administration for implementing this executive order to keep men out of women's sports. But not only that, we're calling on Congress to to implement legislation that continues to protect our female athletes. As Sophia mentioned, CIF is taking a stand against this executive order. They're refusing to follow federal law, and so we're calling on Congress to implement legislation because the state of California is operating as a tyranny. They're operating without regard and respect for our federal government, and so we need legislation to hold California in place. Also, I represent two female athletes out in Riverside Unified School District who are suing their school district for violating Title IX. One of my clients, Taylor, whose dad is going to speak next, she was removed from her varsity team and replaced by a biological male. This violates Title IX, and while the school district is saying our hands are tied, we're bound by state law, they're also bound by federal law, and federal law protects these female athletes. And so as Sophia mentioned, the CIF, the state of California, they're on notice. They know what the federal law is, and not only are they going to risk losing federal funding for school districts throughout the state of California, they're going to risk losing lots of finances due to litigation. There will be more lawsuits as more female athletes take a stand and ask the state of California to respect federal law. And so we're grateful that we get to be here today to stand in support of female athletes. This is a common sense effort. This is not anything new. This is restoring fairness for women's sports. And so we're proud to stand beside so many female athletes who are boldly taking a stand and advocating for fairness. And so with that, I want to go ahead and bring up Ryan.
Good morning, and thank you for everybody being out here and supporting all the women out there in California and in the nation. My name is Ryan Starling. I'm here on behalf of Taylor, my daughter, and Caitlin. They are athletes at Martin Luther King High School. My daughter has worked hard over the last 3 years to make varsity, become the team captain, and then to have it removed and stripped from a biological boy on the team who did not even have to attend practice. That was allotted to be able to go pursue his education, his choice to graduate early. He didn't even have to attend practices, attended approximately 13 out of 74 practices, and displaced my daughter. It was heartbreaking to see my daughter do 2-a-days, have bloody feet, have blisters on her feet, but still attend practice to be able to achieve her goals and her accomplishments, and to have that stripped away from a biological boy who did not even attend practice. And then to have these two brave girls, Taylor and Caitlin, stand up, wear these shirts, in protest against their religious beliefs, their beliefs that women should be protected in sports, and to have the administration at Martin Luther King High School compare their shirts to a Nazi or a swastika on a shirt and wearing that in front of Jewish people is outrageous. Outrageous. To use that comparison that their shirts are like a swastika and wearing that in front of a Jewish person. It blows my mind that they do this. And the ironic part is the 3 administrators at Martin Luther King are women that benefited from Title IX. One of them was an athlete that ran and benefited from those things, and to have them tell our girls that they don't have the same benefits as a man is just unspeakable. It breaks my heart as a father to see what these girls do day in and day out, fighting to be able to compete in the sports and to be safe in the school districts, to be safe in have their safe places where they want to compete with women, not to have to fight against men also. The state of California and what they have done, that they have made men's sports and they have made co-ed sports, and that is not right. And I can't thank you guys enough for being here, supporting all the women in California. I just hope that the CIF can be just as courageous as the NCAA was. It takes a lot of courage for a 15 and 16-year-old girl to stand up, and I hope as adults they can have that same courage, just like the NCAA. I want to thank President Trump for standing up for our girls. That is amazing what he has done. Amazing. And if they can have the same courage today and stand up immediately to start protecting our girls, okay, immediately. It's not only every single day that goes on, the past, the present, and the future girls, their names are being erased from the leaderboards. Their names are being taken away from scholarships. Their names are being taken away by biological men. And I hope that CIF can see that, and I hope that they can stand up, and I hope the state of California can stand up. Thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate it.
Courage is contagious.
Good morning, guys. My name is Sonja Shaw, and I'm the Chino Valley Unified School Board President. I'm also a mother of 2 fierce CIF athletes, female athletes, may I say, real female athletes. This week was historic. President Trump took a bold and necessary stand for truth, fairness, and the safety of our daughters by signing the executive order. He signed this executive order banning biological males from competing in women's sports. This should have never been a debate. Let me make that clear. This should have never been a debate. A woman is a woman. A man is a man, no matter how much you try to dress it up differently. Science, common sense, and now we have the law on our side. But let me be clear. I know many people are saying the fight is over. Yes, historic wins have been made, but the fight is far from over, and California is paving the way to show that we will continue to fight the good fight to protect our girls. In California, the radical supermajority in Sacramento and CIF have all continued to double and triple down. They continue to betray our daughters, and instead of protecting female athletes, they have chosen to bow down to dangerous gender ideologies, forcing our girls to compete against males, biological males. They have lost scholarships. They even share locker rooms with boys. They have had their opportunities stripped away from them, as you just heard. How did we get to the point where it's okay for a boy, fully intact, exposing himself to a girl, and we sit by and allow it to happen? Shame on California, shame on the nation for ever allowing that. Enough already. The California Interscholastic Federation, which is CIF, must stop being complicit and ensure our female athletes have their opportunities in sports. Promoting policies or practices that blur the lines between males and female sports undermine the achievements of female athletes and threaten to erase the decades of progress towards this fair representation. CIF has a responsibility to protect the integrity of women's sports by ensuring that female athletes are given a level playing field where their hard work and dedication are recognized and preserved. CIF's policies are in a direct violation of Title IX and now California Education Code 33353. California Education Code says that you must follow Title IX. So here we are having them in direct violation, but yet they come out with the toolkit. If you guys look up that toolkit, it'll make you want to vomit. It's absolutely vile on showing a boy, and shame on us for allowing these boys to go through this as well. They obviously need help, and we're encouraging them to be more mentally ill than ever, and that's not right. I mean, everybody's afraid to say something because of death threats and that, but what about our girls? What are we doing to their mental health? We are allowing it to be destroyed. This is true insanity. But here's what's going to happen next, and you will see it happen because all of us will continue to come together and ensure it happens. Women's sports will remain for women, no exceptions. We will not stop until this is fully implemented in California and other states that refuse to comply. No compliance means no funding for schools, and we'll be part of that whole movement to defund these schools and these organizations that refuse to comply. We will expose them. We will ring the bell. We will go up to DC. We will allow Trump and them to know, hey, pull the funding. This is happening here. We are not going to be silent about this. CIF must immediately amend its bylaws or face serious consequences. The Biden administration tried to erase women by forcing this insanity onto us. I remember a few years back when I wasn't even a school board member, I stood as a mother in front of our school board asking them to advocate and stand up and start writing letters against those changes. They refused, so we took those seats, and we will continue to take those seats all around California until we have common sense leading the way. The CIF and the California legislator, Newsom, and all the rest of those lunatics must align with federal law. You see Newsom begging for federal funds right now. Imagine when almost 16 or 17 billion dollars gets taken away from education, the education system here in California. We're talking about billions of dollars. We're talking about Title I schools, kids who need these things. They are going to have that taken away if they don't comply. Remember that. There's things like Kate Sanchez's new bill that she's proposed. CIF can get behind that. They can write a resolution instead of doubling down. They can make a stand. If they're scared, we will stand with them and embolden them in this movement, but they refuse. They're part of the problem. The sad part is when I look in that room, about 90% are males. How dare a male sit there and watch a female get abused? Where have we come in society where males are allowing the abuse of a woman? That is embarrassing. That's not what society should be about. This is bigger than sports. This is about the future of women in America. Our daughters deserve safety. Our daughters deserve fairness. Our daughters deserve their privacy, and we will make sure they get it. We are not stopping until they get it. To CIF, Sacramento, the political cartel, and every school district in California, you will be held accountable. Remember that. CIF needs to stop complying with woke ideology and defend the true nature of fair competition. Don't we have enough to deal with teaching our girls not to tolerate male violence against them, but then we turn around and say it's okay in a sport? That is insane. Again, insanity. It's the definition of insanity. How does that even make sense? We are done. We're not going to negotiate with the radicals who put ideology over reality. We will not back down. We will fight. We are going to win for our girls. And we will take back our daughters' rightful place in sports. Their rights, opportunities, and safety are non-negotiable. We are not going to negotiate with these lunatics. We are going to make sure that the changes are made, and we will do whatever it takes to protect them. Thank you.
Sonja, thank you so much. Following a speech by Sonja is kind of rough, but I'm going to do my best here. Great job. That was perfect. I am Bob Weller. I am president of the board of the Escondido Union High School Board. I was asked to come up here today. I got up at 5, so it must be important because I don't get up at 5. I wanted to say I'm so proud of the women and men that are here today. We live, sadly, in a failed state. I grew up in Los Angeles. I'm a graduate of LA Unified, University High, 1976. Yeah, I know, I look good for my age. Anyway, the thing is, guys, we live in a failed state. And when we are talking, we need people in that room and CIF to have courage. We will no longer be bullied. We are so bullied down, people are afraid to speak up. Parents are afraid to speak up. Parents must speak up. We have your back. There are attorneys that have your back. Do not be afraid. They say, choose love. That's going to be the new Super Bowl thing in the end zone. Choose love. But without truth, there is no love. So we want love, we want truth, and we want courage. And we are out here today to build them up and say, have courage, take a stand for our girls. We will not do this anymore. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Amber French. I am a D1 athlete at California Baptist University. I'm here as a senior D1 athlete to share my experience competing collegiately. I wanted to say if you are given the opportunity to compete collegiately, do it. It's been such an amazing experience. But in order for me to be talking here today as a D1 athlete, being recruited was dependent on the times that I went in high school. For high school, CIF was one of the most important meets of the season that all swimmers trained and rested for. It was a meet every year you needed to at least have a consideration time to be considered, but spots were limited and only the top 40 swimmers in each event, only the top 40 swimmers in each event were taken for D1 high schools. For many swimmers, making it to CIF was an amazing opportunity to swim fast and be seen by college coaches. If you did well there, then you could move on to state, but even that was a more competitive group that would be able to go to that. In order for me to become a D1 athlete, I needed for many schools to have a specific time standard. And for my conference, top 16 scores points for our team. So let's look at the top 16 WAC conference times for my best event, the 100 breast. In 2022, in order to make top 16 for the women's 100 breast, you needed to go a 104.69, and men needed to go a 57.27. In 2023, women needed to do a 104.66, and men needed a 56.71. Last year in 2024, women needed a 104.39, and men needed a 57.36. Now let's look at the 2025 CIF time standards for the 100 breast. Women, in order to be considered, need a 110.84, and men need a an automatic time of 104.87. Men need a 101.64 to be considered, and an automatic time of 57.44. My question to CIF is, why are considered and automatic time standards between men and women 7 to 9 seconds different? And why are we seeing only male athletes try to compete in female sports and not vice versa?
That's right.
Is it because we can't deny the biological differences between men and women? And even the most competitive female athletes cannot dominate against the most competitive male athletes? My purpose today is to show how my opportunities wouldn't have been made possible if males competed in my sport. Every year we are seeing more and more female athletes having to compete against male athletes. I luckily don't have a contact sport, so I can only speak on my opportunities being taken away. But what about the sports like volleyball, soccer, water polo, wrestling? Now we're risking the safety of female athletes. The The bottom line is if you allow males to compete in female sports, less and less females will make the varsity team in high school, and less females will have the opportunity to go to CIF and swim in front of coaches to get recruited. If trans athletes refuse to compete against their own sex, like everybody else has to, then let's make an open category for them, where they can still compete competitively, but not compromise competitive female athletes and all their hard work. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Noelle. I am the Communications Director for Concerned Women for America, California. And I'm also a former high school soccer player and as well as a dancer. I have 3 brothers who are also athletes, and they were all varsity athletes. And despite sharing the same genetic pool, there's no way that I would be able to compete against them. I would not have been able to play soccer. I would not have been able to compete competitively. And so today we're here talking about something that should be obvious. In high school, we read lots of dystopian books, and I never thought that they would become a reality, but here we are. Allowing males to compete in female sports is not just unfair, but it's dangerous, as many have said. Women should not lose races or meets or scholarships or opportunities because men decide to dress up as a female that day. As President Trump said, women's sports are only for women, and the war on women's sports is over, and so it's time for CIF to align with the president's executive order. This is just common sense policy that majority of Americans agree with. This is not something that's controversial, but people are silent, and so today we all hope to give the CIF board courage. Women's rights matter, women's sports matter, and we will fight until every woman in California is protected. CIF has failed women, but they can make it right. They can do the right thing. They can protect women. They can protect them and not harm them. And as some might say, respect our existence or expect resistance. Thank you.
I want to thank you all for coming today. All of you watching online, I don't know if you can tell, but all these people are braving the rain back here, and some drove hours and woke up at 4 and 5 in the morning just to get here today to make sure our voices are heard, that we need to save girls' sports. And so we are going to head now into the CIF Federated meeting and make sure our voices are heard. And I hope this is the last meeting we have to come to. I hope they decide to protect girls' sports. But if they don't, we will be out here every meeting. We will expose their names, and we will make sure the nation knows what CIF is doing. So you have been put on watch. It's time to stand up. It's time to take a bold stance and say, save girls' sports. So thank you all for tuning in, and we will go back on live stream when we're in the meeting.